in Istio you have two ways to perform upgrades. You can do an in-place upgrade, or you can do a canary upgrade where you deploy a second control plane with a different revision, and you slowly move your workload to this new revision, new version, and when everything is fine, you can get rid of the previous one. Depending on which type of upgrade you do, so before I speak about that, let's speak about the naming scheme in Istio. So when we have, like in this platform here, I am in 1.16.3. So the major is 1, minor is the 16, and patch is 3. So if I want to do a patch upgrade, so 1.16.3 to 1.16.4, I would do in place. If I want to do a minor upgrade, so going from 1.16 to 1.17, then I would do this canary upgrade, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate here. So again, here we are with 1.16.3. So I'm going to set some variables. So the old revision is 1.16, and I want to go to the new revision, which is 1.17. So I'm just like setting this environment variable. And the same way we use the Istio Lifecycle object to deploy Istio, we can use it to perform these upgrades. So we just update the existing Istio Lifecycle object, manager object we have created for cluster 1, and this part is exactly the same, but we are adding a second part which corresponds to the second revision, and the difference is just the new revision tag and the tag of the version we want to use, right? So we go from, again, 1.16.3 in this case, like you can see here, to the 1.17.1, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So when I apply this, automatically what's going to happen is that the platform is going to deploy a new operator like this 1.17 namespace, and is also going to create some new Istio operator YAML for this new installation in the 1.17 revision, and basically we configure automatically these operators to only watch for the Istio operator resources that are in the same namespace. So then the next step is the operator is deploying IstioD 1.17. So this mechanism is the same mechanism we follow for the gateway. We deploy a new gateway in the new version, and the same so we do that for ingress gateway and for the east-west gateway, and then we do the same for Istio control plane in the second cluster, and the two gateways in the other cluster. So again, everything as code. We define that we want these two revisions to be deployed in the two clusters, basically. It's as simple as that. So if I go to here, I can see that these gateways will be created very quickly because I already have the operator running here. I see the ingress and egress, everything is fine, and then now I can go here and see that I have like this operator being deployed as well, and now the gateways are created. So it was very fast to deploy this new version. We can also check the status of each of these Istio operator lifecycle manager object and the gateway lifecycle manager object. Each of them has like a status where you see the different revisions deployed in the different clusters and if they are healthy and so on. So now that I have upgraded, what I want is to restart the different pods to use the new revision. So you can see here I'm looking at all the pods all the namespaces that use this old revision, and I'm going to change the label of these namespaces and then restart the deployment instead, right? Normally what you would do is that you would relabel just the namespace of one test application, then you will restart this test application, validate it works, and then you will do it in another application, another namespace, and after you are happy, then you can schedule the update of more namespaces until the upgrade is completed, and you can obviously automate part of this process. So here I'm restarting everything so that everything is now going to be connected to the new control plane, which is the revision 117. And if I look at this command here, where I can access the HTTP bin application that I have deployed in the cluster and that I have exposed to the Istio Ingress gateway. So basically I need to check that this application can still be accessed properly. So you can see I get to 200, I can see everything is up and running correctly, so everything is fine. But right now I am still using the gateway of the previous revision, so the gateway of 116 to expose this application. Right? I can take a look at the gateway object here, and I can see that it's still using this 116 revision. So what I need to do now, I have moved my workloads to the new revision. I want to move the gateway to this new revision. You can also do the opposite, start by the gateway and finish by the workload. It's really up to you. And you remember we decided to create a service manually for the Ingress and East-West gateway, not having the platform deploying that automatically, so that we can reuse the same service, which is a service type load balancer, so we can keep the same external IP and so on, and we just patch the services so that now they are targeting the new revision. So I can simply patch this that way, and I can check that everything is also still working well with the new revision, right? So I can still access my service correctly, and I have basically finished my migration because I don't have any service, any pod using the previous revision anymore. I could use also CTL for that. You can see what are all the proxies connected to a specific control plane. That's another good thing to do. And then when you finish, you update again these objects, but this time you keep only the new one, right? So you get rid of the old one, right? So you remove all the entries that correspond to the old revision, and the platform is going to see that and is going to automate the process of decommissioning the components that are not used anymore. So you see it's decommissioning the 116 control plane, the gateways that correspond to this 116, and also even decommission the Istio operator itself, right? So that we just get the 117, and we can see even in the UI it's reflected. I have upgraded to 117 and everything is healthy.